Like Greg Koch always says, if you don't know the key change, don't change. Good morning, everybody. This is Ken coming to you live from the Circle I Ranch here in sunny, beautiful Toledo, Ohio, where there is now a nice actual layer of ice over the river and a little powdering of snow on the buildings this morning here in Ohio. Did you guys notice that?
Gorgeous.
Yeah? Was it gorgeous?
I live just down to your right.
Yeah, John and Jeff are here with us this morning. Yeah, Jeff you're right over here somewhere.
Yeah, a little further down.
Yeah. But kind of behind the curtain.
Right over there.
As it were.
I'm behind the curtain.
As it was.
I live my life behind the curtain.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
We have with us today Megan Lesle.
Sure do.
And Jeff, why don't you tell us what the day is?
Well, today is January 3rd, Friday, January 3rd.
Okay.
In the fresh new year of 2025.
And what Friday is it today? It's a Kingbolt Friday.
Oh, it's
It's Kingbolt Friday.
Kingbolt Friday, first Friday, Kingbolt Friday.
I like that. I think the first Friday of every year from now on will be Kingbolt Friday.
And Stir Friday. Let's just eat Stir Fry today.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
What are you doing after the show?
I'm gonna go get some Stir Fry.
Let's do that. Megan, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
It's kind of I would have you here more, but you are a full-time teacher.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
And the first, because you've been on the show before, but it's been a few years. And the first time you were here, I was like, we should make this a regular thing. And then, of course, your teaching sort of precludes that. However, where do you teach?
I teach at Toledo School for the Arts.
And what is your job at the Toledo School for the Arts?
All right, so I am so lucky to teach there, but I teach music, obviously, and I run our popular music program, our jazz program, and I teach an advanced guitar class there. So all day, every day, I teach guitar, and I get to play music, and I work with really awesome kids and really awesome coworkers, and it's just a good time every day.
Give us a brief history of the TSA for those who aren't familiar, because there's a lot of people, watching this from all over the country and around the world. And there's a lot of surprising things about Toledo, Ohio, with our world-class art museum, of course. And there's so many great things going on here. But that school is, I think, something special that Toledo has to offer too. Fire away.
Well, I agree with you. I actually graduated from there in 2008. So I'm also a Toledo School for the Arts alumni before I went to UT. Okay. And then I taught for Toledo Public for a couple years, and then I ended up teaching there. So we're actually a public school charter art school located in downtown Toledo. And we teach grades 6 through 12. So students take their academic classes every day, and then they also get to take their arts electives every day as well. So a student who signs up to be in a pop combo, literally has band practice 5 days a week, for an hour at a time.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's fantastic.
Our own John Zen's behind the soundboard back there does a little work with TSA as well in the sound engineering department. Are you mic'd this week? You're probably not. No.
Also, your hair's kind of looking on your mic.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Fixed. And then Reverend has participated in your guitar day off and on for years. I've done it quite a few times. Does Randy still do that?
I don't know if we're going to do Guitar Fest again this year or not. We haven't quite figured out if we're bringing it back.
Okay.
But what we are going to do is a popular music festival.
Okay.
And we're inviting schools from the area to bring their pop bands to our school to perform for a day and work with clinicians. So
it's been a minute, but about 10 years ago we brought Reeves Cabrels in to talk to the kids and perform. It was very, very, very cool.
That's amazing.
Very interesting thing to do. Yeah, it was cool. And then since then it just hasn't, like you guys have had things. I got to hang out with the wonderful Jennifer Batten down there one year when I was there, and a few other things have gone on where you've had people come in from the outside, but they haven't asked me to bring in a ringer in a minute. So
we should.
But honestly, and I know why, because the last couple times you asked me to bring in a ringer, I couldn't find anybody because everybody's spring is rough, for the pro guys. I mean, they're out, and so it's been kind of odd. But we should talk about this a little bit, because I might have something coming up that you might be interested in doing something down there. Now the brain's going.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. That'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure. So so much has happened with you since the last time I've seen you. You're a mom now. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
And how old is your?
She is going to be 11 months. 11 months old.
That's pretty fresh.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. Cool.
Real fresh. She's getting into everything, crawling around,
Yeah.
climbing on stuff. It's great.
So, and the question on everybody's mind is, how long between having the baby and your first gig?
Oh boy. I don't think it was that long. I think it might have been like 2 months, maybe.
Wow.
I think that was like what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's an interesting question, but it just
No,
is.
I agree.
Because
I agree.
it's having a baby is a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot of work for everybody involved. Yeah, for sure. And we met through Ken Zurcher.
Mm-hmm.
Ken brought you to the NAMM show when they had one in Nashville, if I recall correctly.
That's right.
It seems like that's where I met you for the first time.
Yeah.
And now, of course, they don't have NAMM shows in Nashville anymore. I don't think that'll ever return. I don't know. Call me crazy, but boy, the last one was
Pretty grim.
the last one was grim. I think there are more people in this room right now than were on the show floor on
That was
Friday
a tough one.
afternoon.
I got sick as a dog too.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
Yeah.
But it's hard. I mean, there's a lot of travel involved and stuff. And honestly, with the digital era that we're living in, unfortunately, a lot of the face-to-face stuff has been taken out of the industry, which is one of the reasons why I think schools like the TSA are so cool that you can get kids like hands-on and get people in there for them to meet and talk to, and people who have real-world experience and stuff. And I think that's amazing because. I don't know. One of the things that the old guys tell me all the time is that guitar is dying. What's your thought on this?
I mean, I see it every day in the hands of kids growing up, and they love it. So I don't see it going anywhere, personally. But that might just be my own experience seeing it every day with what I do.
We work with so many touring bands in their 20s that the players are so good. And the stuff is just amazing, and we're cultivating a whole generation of millennial rock stars, even as we speak. It's incredible.
It's cool.
And so I also don't believe that to be true. Do you have a lot of young women involved in your programs?
Yeah, we're honestly it's about 50-50. And yeah, it's cool. Really diverse programs and a little bit of everything.
We're finding a lot of that out there too. Just look at our artist roster. It's amazing. It's really so cool from something that, when Joe and I started doing this full time, our demographic was so narrow in the late 90s. And then we were making sort of a vintage style instrument. And so we were targeting people that play vintage style instruments or vintage instruments. And the last 10 years has really been huge for us as we've started to resonate with a wider audience and a wider age group of audience, and now we're doing, I don't know, man, just so many interesting things, working with so many interesting people. It's incredible. I want to talk about your guitar for a second.
Yeah,
Because
heck yeah.
I love the wear on the fretboard. This is an instrument. I mean, every time I see you somewhere, you're holding this guitar.
I play it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you also have an Eastsider, a Pete Anderson Eastsider S.
I do. Yeah.
And you're just more of a humbucker gal.
I just like this guitar. It's so versatile. I can take it to any gig, and I can plug it in and just go. And I don't ever feel like I have to switch throughout the night. Although I probably should. I should be given the Eastsider some love. You know.
I know how that goes.
But I just like this guitar. It feels good to play.
Yeah. Kingbolts are they're very comfortable. The body is a little more narrow than like the Jetstream, and so it really sits on you nice when you're sitting down.
Plus,
but,
it's got like the carved out. I don't know if they can see it or not.
yeah.
It's got like the carved out back,
for sure.
carved top. Yeah.
And hyper vintage railhammer pickups. Do you bass contour much?
I don't a ton. I pretty much set this and leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of like set my settings and just. I might change the pickups throughout the night, but that's about it.
Yeah. We have your pedal board in front of us, and I'm seeing a Boss Overdrive Distortion, the old the yellow one, which is kind of cool. Boss pedals are always.
Yeah. I got the OS2.
It's a standard.
Yeah, it's a
And
standard.
the Tube Screamer,
Tube Screamer.
is it always on?
Not always.
Not
No,
always,
not
okay.
always.
Carbon copy delay, which of course I have. I love I do a lot of slapback stuff, that kind of thing, and that is the perfect pedal for that.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
a mini wah.
Yeah. And a mini wah. You gotta have one. They're fun.
Yeah. What's your go-to wah song? We don't get a lot of wah in here, do we?
You know, I kind of play
okay.
it whenever I'm feeling it. I don't have like a wah song. But when I'm feeling it, I'm feeling it. I play it on Last Dance with Mary Jane, Tom
Okay.
Petty,
Okay.
stuff like that. Anything that rocks out, Doobie Brothers, that's fun to put wah on.
So let's talk about your band real fast, Amelia Earhart's. You are one of Toledo's like prominent bar bands. I hate to call you like
Yeah.
a bar band,
Yeah.
but I mean you guys are everywhere.
Play all the time, yeah.
Yeah. About how many a month do you put in?
You know, now,
Slows down in the winter.
yeah, about winter time, we're doing like about 1 or 2 weekends a month. In the summer, sometimes it's 3 weekends.
Yeah.
We're trying to space our schedule out a little bit, you know. I think having a kid will do that to you. Just
A little bit.
You know.
Yeah. But it picks up in the summer because you're obviously not working in the summer, but I don't know what everybody else in the band does, but. And you guys do some of the like Lake Erie Islands and stuff.
Yeah,
in
we
the
play. So
summertime?
we play like Put-in Bay. We play like Catawba Island Club, Twin Oaks Brewing. We do a lot of events too. We're doing a lot of events now. So it's a good place to be. It honestly is. It's fun. Every gig is fun, and the music is good.
Your band has kind of gotten to the point where you can answer the phone.
A bit. It's a weird place to be because when we first started, we were like a duo, and we were taking every single gig we could get, playing
Just
like
you and
4 to
Carrie?
5 nights a week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just Carrie and I, and then we built into a full band, and now we're kind of like, let's just do these ones. You know, let's just play these gigs because
Yeah.
we all have day jobs. So
Yeah. And what's the repertoire? What's the
whatever
the mix?
whatever the crowd wants to hear, but we definitely edge on the side of like more rock with plenty of guitar solos and leads. You know.
You still shredding behind your head every night?
Oh yeah, every night. Once you do that once,
Signature move, and then everybody expects that.
everyone
that it is-
expects you to do it.
Yeah. That's fun.
Yeah. My students do it now too because they know that I can do that. So now they have to do it too. So they're all doing it too.
Nice.
It's fun.
Nice. Cool. I love the turquoise flame top Kingbolt. You got that right around the time we started doing the dark roasted maple necks on those. If you could just reach over and pick up the one that's next to you, don't
Yeah.
plug it in if you don't want to, whatever, that's fine. This is a red one, and this was the last incarnation of that style of Kingbolt.
Wow.
So that was, we only have a couple of these red ones left in the shop, but that was the last color that we did the Kingbolt with the Wilkinson trem and the dark roasted maple neck. So for 2024, we've kind of moved away from that dark roasted neck, and the Kingbolt, along with the Charger RA, the Roundhouse with rail hammers, the Sensei with rail hammers, and our 5-string Mercalli bass, have all moved to just a regular roasted maple neck with an ebony fretboard.
Ah, nice.
And hey, got to change it up every once in a while.
Yeah.
And then once we started working, you guys have heard me say this a million times. I'm sorry that I have to say
It's
it again.
okay.
But once we started working with the mighty Vernon Reed from Living Color, I just like to hear it come out of my mouth. Once we started working with Vern, and he got me to get Naylor to do Floyd's on something, the Kingbolt model seemed like the natural fit for the Floyd Rose. How do you feel about Floyd Roses, Megan? Am I scaring you? Am I scaring you with the Floyd?
No, I like Floyd's. I've actually got a Floyd guitar. I've got like a vintage Squire metal guitar.
Yeah,
It's
those
got
are
a
dope.
Floyd on it.
Does it have reverse headstock too?
It does not have the reverse headset. I know. I've always wanted that like extra
Get 'em
length on the
all.
low E, but
Yeah.
yeah, they're fun. It's fun.
Yeah, they're super fun.
Yeah.
So this is, of course, the modern Kingbolt. Now, this is mine, because this was the first one that we opened. And I looked at it and went, I'm keeping that. And then that was it, and I did. Because I love a Floyd. I learned how to play on Ibanez guitars in the late 80s, and I know, I like a floating trem. You like a floating trem, too.
Mm-hmm.
And my East Sider S is still my number one guitar, of course. and I'm so weird with the guitars that I play. Like you, I tend to find something I like and just gravitate towards it all the time.
Yeah.
And so like I use that East Sider in 2 of my gigs, and I have a modded Matt West guitar that has the Wilkinson on it too that I use in my other gig. And even I got this, and I'm like, I'm gonna play this, and I haven't really taken it out yet because when I go to do a gig, I'm like, I grab the guitars that I've been grabbing for years, you know. So I'm basically what I'm saying is I need to start a new band, so that I can use this in a new band. So if anybody's interested, DM me. I heard something about a Tragically Hip tribute band.
Oh, that's cool.
I'd be into that.
No, you didn't.
What?
Was it you that said it?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't me. No, I actually saw this on Facebook. It said, DM if anybody is interested in a Tragically Hip cover band, and I just.
That was put up there
guess
by
I'm not-
Hen
I'm-
Koss.
I never heard back. So
Yeah, tough.
I'm sure I'm not. It is. It's tough. It's a hard one. Anyways, we were talking about Kingbolts and Floyd Roses, and I got real excited about this. The modern platform, like the Kingbolt, is one of our more modern things, along with the new body style that we have for the Vern. And to Joe and I, once we had the conversation about it, it just seemed like a natural fit to sort of move this into a different direction. And as we're going to start taking some of the other things in a more vintage direction, I think it's really, really cool to have an ultra modern guitar. Neat thing about the Floyd to me is the initial attack. I took the hyper vintage pickups out of this and put the heavy 90 and the Nuevo 90 pickups in it because those are the heavy 90 is my favorite pickup. It's also Jeff Wynn's favorite pickup, isn't it, Jeff? Yeah. To me, it does the P90 like mid-range thing, while letting you just put a ton of grit on it and holding the bottom tight. And metal riffs. Like palm muting sounds awesome with that pickup because it's super percussive and the mids are super loud. Well, that's the first new song for the new band that I'm.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be huge.
Right?
That song's.
I'm
already
gonna go
catchy.
back. I'm gonna go back to that riff.
It's good for recording.
Yeah, right. It's good. We have that, and I don't want anybody ripping that off either. Because if I hear that on the radio, I'm gonna be pissed.
It's gonna be on the radio in no time.
Probably right.
Buzz
I should
on
really
those
slow.
6.5.
I should really slow my roll up. But they also sounds beautiful, clean, and the hyper vintage pickups do a more traditional humbucker sound. And that's your go-to.
That's my go-to. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my go-to. I mean, you can still do like the.
Oh yeah. Why wouldn't you?
It's just not a ton of what, I'll do like the tapping and stuff. We don't do a ton of metal, so I don't get to play a ton of metal.
Yeah,
I
I
am
don't
learning more metal because my students they're all metalheads. That's what they want to play. So
And what are they listening to? What's inspiring your students to play metal? The world wants to know.
Honestly, like Avenged Sevenfold is a pretty big thing right now. That's like they're into Avenged Sevenfold.
I'm so bummed. Look at the 3 frowning faces in this room. Well, at least 2. No, John's not. Really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Huh.
Yep.
Wow. Who'd have thunk? So is it like a 90s, 2000s? Yeah, right? It's like
it is
oldies
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Huh. All right.
I also work at an art school, so I think sometimes, they're listening to maybe a little more of a variety than
Yeah.
what, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what teenagers listen to at a regular school because I don't teach at a regular school.
Right,
so.
right. No, that's totally true.
Yeah.
I can relate to that to a certain extent. My kids are all over the place with their. I did it to them to a certain extent, but my youngest is going to Berkeley in Boston,
Nice.
and he's super into like everything from Bill Evans to Dilla, and everything in between, and including a bunch of old crap that I listen to, and he just. You know what I do is they were just home for the holidays. So my daughter's in New York City as well. So when I go pick them up from the airport and they want to connect their phone to the radio to listen to music, I give them my phone and have them load in all the stuff that they're listening to so that after they leave, I can continue to listen to the stuff that they're listening to. And again, back to the earlier conversation about how like kids aren't listening to guitar music or there's no good guitar music out there or whatever. I heard a guy at a guitar show last month in Philly say, once Joey Bonamassa and John Mayer quit playing, what's going to happen to the industry?
Keeps me up at night.
Nothing against those guys. It's fine. It's just that there's so much more. There's so much more happening right now. You know, it's just incredible. It's everywhere. So I don't even. That's just my rant. That's my rant that I always go on. Hey, let's. I want to hear some clean tones out of your thing.
Yeah,
And,
let's do it.
Pick something that you do.
All right.
Like play something that you're really, really comfortable with, and let's hear why you like that guitar so much.
All right. Well,
I put her on the spot. Oh yeah.
I'm thinking like something like maybe like A minor.
Okay.
Like
Yeah, sure. There's a little tube screamer. Oh, there she goes. Oh, she gonna do it.
your microphone here or whatever.
fun on Fridays, man.
Fridays are for fun.
Fridays are for fun. Jeff, does anybody, let's ask the hard question. Does anybody care? What's going on out there? Anybody have anything for me? Because you know me, I'll talk about anything. Fire
Sure
away.
will. Scott wants to know if there's any chance that the turquoise Kingbolt gets a re-release.
There's always a chance, especially when something is as popular as that guitar was. But I'll say it because I'll always say it. That was a weird one color-wise for us because it really, the balance between blue and green in that stain is really, really tricky. And sometimes we would get those guitars and they would be green, right? And then sometimes we'd get them and they'd be really, really blue and then a little bit of like fading on them. Honestly, it's very difficult to find two of them that are exactly the same color.
That's crazy. I did not know that.
I think it's kick-ass.
Yeah.
Because that, to me, that just sort of gives you like a individual thing. And it's fun for our dealers that put actual photos of the guitars up online.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you're like a Wildwood or a Sweetwater or anybody that and puts the actual photos in their reverb listings, and you can look and see like, oh, I really like that one or whatever.
That one looks good on TV. I see it all the time.
Yeah, Penny
Yeah,
chimed in and said,
speaking of
"Don't
seeing
forget
that
to ask
guitar on
about the app."
TV, yeah, we here in Toledo we see this guitar on TV often. What was that? How did that come about?
Yeah.
Because I just remember one day like sitting on the couch and I'm like, holy shit, I know her.
Yeah, so it actually came about because I work at TSA. Our development director, Dave Gerke, was like, hey, our ad company needs a guitar player for this commercial. Can you do it? And I said, sure. And then I think I texted you and was like, hey, is it okay if I put your guitar in a commercial? And you were like, go for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we filmed it at the school, actually.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Do you actually choose guitars over drugs?
All the time. All the time.
100%.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Truth in advertising.
Yeah, truth in advertising. Yeah. I actually have never done drugs, so I've
for
always
you.
picked guitars instead of drugs. Yeah,
That's why you're a
always.
monster player.
So,
Yeah, then that ad, it seems like I see it around the holidays, but they run it all the time, don't they? Still.
yeah, I hear about it all the time, and I did it a few years ago. That ad is from like a couple years back.
It's a really good looking
So
ad.
they're still running it. I think it's gonna just be there for forever and just outlive me. That's what I think.
That's awesome. That's cool. Well, thanks for using the Reverend in that. Jeff, anything else in there?
Ken. Al Lindsay from the Gear Safari
Hey, Al.
says hello to everyone here
What's
from the
up?
UK. Wants to know if he'll see us back at NAMM.
Yes, Al. We're packing for the NAMM show even as we speak. Guitars are being set up. Fun segue. Thanks for asking the question. I'm taking this guitar with us to the NAMM show. You may notice by the headstock that this is not a Reverend. This is a Clay Avenue guitars from former Reverend employee Jesse Hopkins.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show, been on the show with me a couple times over the years. This is the prototype of his single cut model. And I mean, it's gorgeous. He does the most incredible work. And he's been using Railhammer pickups. These are hyper vintage pickups. This is a 24 3/4 scale. It may be 24.6, but I think it's 24.75. And with the hyper vintage pickups, it sounds incredible. I mean, it has all the vintage tones that you would expect from a single cut model, similar to our roundhouse model with the upper horn extension. It keeps the neck joint really, really tight.
Okay. Yeah.
And so even with the shorter scale length, you get a lot of initial attack and then a really nice decay on a note. I mean, I have all these pedals here and I don't have any of them on, and it sounds like this. Oh, wait, that's not it. Sorry.
I saw your foot do that.
I mean, that is, both of the hyper vintage pickups are on and the controls are wide open. It's got that hollow single cut, the guitar that kind of, the single cut guitar that started it all. But then when you put the gain on it, it sings. No, I don't do that. It just sings, and Jesse's really Joe is obviously very proud of what he's accomplished. I'm proud to call him a friend and a contemporary, and his guitars are beautiful, and he's working his ass off. And if you're in the Detroit area and you need work done on your instruments or repairs or anything like that, you can reach out to him at Clay Avenue Guitar Shop. And if you want to talk to him about one of these bad boys, reach out to him. This is the 29th guitar that he has built.
Wow.
And I have a couple of them because I'm a fan, and I'm keeping this one. Mm-hmm. So we're going to take it to the NAMM show to show off Railhammers in the Railhammer booth. So after today's show, it gets packed in the crates, and off to California it goes. And Jeff is coming to California with me, as well as Miss Penny. And JJ, our sales manager, will be out there with us. Our friend Scott, who helps us do artist relations for Railhammer Pickups, is coming down to work in the Railhammer booth. We have a Railhammer booth and a Reverend booth. We are sharing the Reverend booth this year with Car Amplifiers, and he is bringing some of his amps that he's been in production with for a while, and he's also going to show off some new stuff down there. We're really excited to be sharing that space with him, and we're going to be heading out there shortly. I love going to California the third week of January every year, even though I don't do anything but work. I don't see anything but the inside of a convention center. I try to remind myself during the day on those days to go outside and eat lunch and just sit in the sunshine just for an hour.
We do see the inside of a lot of hotel restaurants.
We do see, yeah, for sure. And then by the time the show's over every day, it's dark because it gets, it's winter time. You go outside and you're like, nah. But we have a lot of exciting stuff coming up at that show Thursday, day one of the show floor being open. At 5 in the afternoon, Reverend endorsers Bite Me Bambi, Telena, and Mike were on the show with me last month, 2 months ago, something like that. Their band is going to be performing on the outdoor stage down by the arena off of Harbor at 5 o'clock on Thursday, so we'll be hanging out there. So yes, we will be at the NAMM show fired up and ready to go. There. Too long of an answer, Jeff?
Marvell Oaks or Marvel or Marvili, I don't know. Marvell, I'm going to stick with Marvell. Wants to know if the Kingbolt pickguard will come back. Loves that shape and the look.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
You know what?
Wow.
Maybe a little comparison.
Forgot about that.
This one.
Yeah, I forgot about that. In moving forward with the sort of modern look that we were going for the Kingbolt, I mean, I guess I don't have any plans, but I haven't thought about that.
You can always get a pickguard and put it on yours.
Yeah, for sure. That can be done. I just think it's funny because Naylor for many, many years walked around saying, first off, I'll never make a guitar with no pickguard. Remember when he said that? He said that for a long time. And then the Kingbolt without the pickguard was one of the first. And then he also said that he would never do a telly. And Pete Anderson changed that for him. And then, of course, we did the greatest sounding T-style guitar. There, you have one. You know how special it is. It's bad.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
And he also said he'd never do a Floyd. Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, no gold hardware.
No gold hardware. I forgot about that too. Yeah, boy.
Black hardware was never even mentioned, but I'm sure that was a no as well.
Yeah, black hardware is
now.
a hard no. I'm with the no black binding thing myself.
For now?
I think the black binding thing is pretty shectory.
We'll get rid of the headstock,
I
black
mentioned a
binding.
competitive brand. I'm sorry. I don't usually call out people by name.
It's okay.
But I don't. But hey.
Does that Kingbolt have the pickguard or no?
No.
Oh, no pickguard.
No pickguard.
Wow.
No, got a lot of Floyd on there though. Yeah. That takes up a lot of real estate on the face of the guitar.
Sure does.
You don't want to cover up that flame maple either.
No, and that's the thing. And some of the tops have been gorgeous, and so it's, I don't know. I think it's fun to not have the pickguard on there. Good question though. Thought provoking. What else you got, Jeff?
Well, Keith Molberg says, random question. At the neck joint of my Gil Paris HSH, there are 6 larger screws and 2 small ones in the middle. What are the little ones for?
Wow, that's a cool guitar tech question. So here's the back plate. Before we started putting the Circle R, do you have the Circle R on your neck plate, or do you have the 2 screws?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. So before we started etching the Circle R into these, I think it was about maybe 2012 or so, 2013, Joe had a handful of ideas for some really guitar tech-friendly upgrades to traditional guitars.
Okay.
And when we went to the 6-bolt neck plate, those 2 screws in the middle of it are just pickguard screws, and that is really just for guitar techs who might have to remove the neck at some point, and they can remove the neck without the plate just falling onto your bench and one more thing to keep track of and reposition and all that kind of stuff. And that was really the whole thought behind it. And it really didn't have a lot of practical application. We spent more time explaining that than just about that anybody who really was like, wow, that's really cool concept or whatever. It just didn't really catch as a thing. And then Joe had the idea to do the input jack wings, which I think are super cool, and the etching on the back plate, which is just more brand specific and just a cooler idea. But around the same time that he came up with that idea on the neck plate, we started putting the Veraclaw on all of our trem guitars, and it's something that we don't talk about enough or like promote really enough because it's another cool, interesting thing for like super guitar nerdy guys or techs. But our claw, I don't have one here, but like a dumbass. But our claw actually this holds the springs in 2 different positions. And you can use 3 springs in the middle or remove one of those springs and put 2 springs on the outside without really having to adjust the claw at all. So you can get a really super loose feel on your trem with 2 springs if you want to, without having to make a bunch of adjustments on the guitar other than just moving the springs around. And Naylor was a 2-spring guy for a long time. I don't know if he still is. I don't want to speak for him. But that was where that stemmed from, was something that, like most of the things on the Reverends, even the big stuff like the Railhammer pickups, all sort of came from things that Naylor was wanted to have for his own use and sound, And we still feature the Veraclaw on all the instruments, and we have them for sale on our web store and all that happy horse shit. So there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
I think I should do that with my East Sider, right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
should make it a 2-spring.
Yeah,
That's kind of cool.
You do need to adjust the way you bend when you do that.
Okay. I've never tried it. I've never tried it.
It pulls the guitar flat very quickly. But from years of playing Floyds and floating Wilkinsons and stuff like that, I have a tendency to like if I'm doing a double stop bend, I correct with the second string.
Okay.
To make sure that it's in tune. I don't need to do it on this guitar, obviously, but I do that without even thinking about it. And that's just from 35 years of playing. I mean, it's just like one of those things. When I'm doing the 2-spring thing, I have to correct more.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
but it's a really cool feel if you're like doing a surf thing. It's awesome. What do you
love
got?
surfing, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. I just like to hear myself talk.
Yeah.
For the record.
We know. Raylan Martin Smith says, "Hey Ken, I picked up one of those black and gold East Siders. Such a beautiful piece. Will we see more limited runs in the future?"
Yeah, there's so many limited runs coming. We're about to drop a couple things from a couple dealers here in the States that they're gonna make some waves. We have some really cool shit coming, and we have so much more coming this year, guys. I can't even begin. We're unleashing a whole lot of new stuff at the NAMM show in a couple weeks, and maybe we can preview a couple of those things here over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, maybe.
And then all year long, I mean, well into the second quarter, we have a lot of new things planned, and we're working on stuff. So we're going to make it really, really interesting in 2025. Jeff is going to be working hard, shooting pictures of new models and getting them on the website, aren't you, Jeff?
That's all I've been doing lately, baby.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Too cool. What else you got?
That's it, man.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Megan and I will play. Megan, rip some lead on something. What should I do with this guitar here? You want to go back to E?
Sure, we can go back to E.
Let's go back to E.
All right.
I don't want to. This guitar's a little. There we go. Thanks for coming today.
Thanks for having me.
Hell yeah, bro.
This is a great time.
Go see the Amelia Earharts at Bar 145 tonight. If you're in T-Town.
Yeah, and come on out to Acoustics for Autism first weekend in March.
Acoustics for Autism, first weekend of March.